So today's lesson is about rotations, and we're going to identify 90, 180, and 270 degree rotations and the direction given each figure is rotated about the origin, okay? So remember that rotations is a transformation that turns a figure around a fixed point called the center of rotation, and our center of rotation is going to be the origin right there, y'all, okay? The image of the rotated figure is congruent to the pre-image. The only thing that makes an image not congruent is when we dilate it, which means make it bigger or smaller. And then images are normally rotated counterclockwise, and that's because we are going in the order of these quadrants. 1, 2, 3, whoops, and 4. That is the way we normally rotate. And if we're going to rotate it a different way, we would say clockwise, okay? So first of all, I want to talk to you all about how to identify the degree of rotation direction given each figure is rotated about the origin, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to draw lines from the origin to a vertex. So I'm going to draw a line from the origin to D, and from a line to the origin D, from the origin to D prime. Okay, see that right there? Now remember, we rotate in the order of the quadrants. So we're going to rotate this direction, right? So how many quadrants did we just move? Remember, this is 90, this is 90, and this is 90, right? So that would be 3 times 90, which would be 270 degrees is the way we just rotated this, okay? Rotation, okay. Now, we're also going to talk about a clockwise rotation, okay? So that would mean we were rotating point D from there to there, right? So how many is that? One quadrant, 90 degrees, right? So that would be a 90-degree clockwise rotation, okay? So we're going to do the same thing with B that we just did with that one. So once again, we're going to draw these lines. I'm going to go from here to P, and from the origin again to P prime. Again, looks like 90 degrees, doesn't it? Okay, so again, remember, we're going from Q to Q prime, and we're going this direction. So this one is 90 degrees, right? A 90-degree rotation. And if we go the opposite direction, which is clockwise, we would be going through around 3 different quadrants, right? So this one will be 270 degrees clockwise. So our next one, again, we're going to go from the origin to D and from the origin to D prime. That's a straight line, right? And again, so how many quadrants did we move? We went from D to D prime, so we went 2 quadrants, right? So that would be 180 degrees. And no matter which direction you go, right, it would be 180 degrees. So this is a 180-degree rotation. And with 180-degree rotations, we don't need to say counterclockwise or clockwise, okay? All right, pause the video here, see if you can do these 2, and come back to me when you're done. So here again, I'm going to go from the origin to I, and from the origin to I prime. So this is another straight line, right? So this is 180 degrees rotation. And hopefully all of y'all know that the measure of a straight line is 180 degrees. All right, going to do the next one as well. So from here to L, and that was not a very straight line, y'all. I don't know what happened there. So there. And this one right here, again, so can you guys see that that's 90 degrees? So once again, we're going from L to L prime, right? So we're going all the way around to there. So that would be a 270-degree rotation. And if we were to go the opposite direction, clockwise, right? So a clock goes this way, it would be rotating that way, right? So that would be a 90-degree clockwise rotation. All right, so for these next few, go ahead and write down these rules. Pause the video here, write down the rules, and then come back to me, and I'm going to show you why these rules are the way they are. Okay? All right, so over here, I want to talk to you all about these quadrants. So we're always going to start with an XY over here, okay? And we're going to talk about what the signs are in each of these quadrants. So the signs here are positive and positive, right? The signs up here are negative and positive. The signs down here are negative and negative, right? And then the signs in this quadrant are positive and negative, okay? So now, anytime I rotate a point from the first quadrant to the second quadrant, it's going to flip, okay? So this is going to be y, x, and down here, this is going to be y, x, okay? So now what I want you to also notice is that when I get over there to that quadrant, to quadrant 2, this is quadrant 2, right? This was quadrant 1 over here. Okay, so when I get over there to quadrant 2, I'm going to make that negative. When I get down here to quadrant 4, I'm going to make that negative because everything in that position is negative. All right, and so down here in our third quadrant, this is going to be x, y, but what do we know about all the signs in that quadrant? Exactly, they're negative, right? So as we begin to rotate around here, right? So when we rotate from here to there, we go 90 degrees, right? If we keep going, we're at 180, right? If we keep going, we're at what? 270 degrees. So this is why the rules are the way they are. And let me show you one other thing. So if I'd had something like this, right? And let's just say this was 1 up here, and this was 2, and this was 4, okay? So isn't it going to turn? It is going to turn, right? So when I put it over here, it's going to end up like that, isn't it? Okay? So what happened to my numbers, okay? So now this is going to be 4 tall up here, right? That's going to be 4, and this is going to be what? I should have made it a little higher. That's okay. This is going to be 2. Y'all got that? And how far was it over here? 1. Okay? Notice that the x and y's flip, okay? And that's why we're flipping the x and y's. All right, now we're going to use these properties. The first one says, rotate triangle JKL with vertices J, K, and L by 90 degrees about the origin. So we're going to write this rule. Remember, if it's 90, it's going to be yx, and the y is going to be negative, okay? So the first thing I want to tell y'all to do here is always flip things first, then change the signs, okay? So we got 2, 2. That doesn't really change. I'm going to do -5, 4, and then I'm going to do 6, -1. Now I'm going to go back and change the signs of that first position number, okay? So now these are the numbers that we're actually going to plot. So we're going to plot -2, 2. That's my J prime. We're going to plot the K prime, 5, 4. And then we're going to plot the L prime, which is -6, -1. And then we're going to go ahead and draw this lines on here. Now, we can check this. How do we check it? The same way we checked it before, right? So we could check from the origin to J, right there, right? That wasn't a very straight line, but y'all get the drift. And from the origin to J prime. Notice again, what does that angle look like? 90 degrees. That's your check, okay? So I'd like you guys to go ahead and do this one. Plot the points. You can pause the video here, plot the points, and then draw the D, E, F, G, and then write the rule. So the rule is, again, this is a 90-degree rotation about the origin. So this is Y, X, and that's going to be negative. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and write my points. I'm going to flip them first. 2, -3, 1, -4, -2, -2, -1, -1. Now I'm going to go back and change all the signs here. So this is going to be negative, negative, positive, positive. Now I'm going to plot those points. -2, -3, right there is my D prime. I got -1, -4 right there. That's my F prime. No, that's my E prime, sorry. Then I got 2, -2. Right there is my F prime. And then I got my G prime at 1, -1. Okay, so there's my shape. And again, we can check this same way. We've been checking them all along. So we can check from here, from the origin to G, and from the origin to G prime. Do you notice what kind of angle that is? Again, it's a right angle, right? Okay. So now the next one is a 180-degree rotation. Now this one, if we remember the rule, we don't flip them. We just change the signs. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to write the numbers as they are right here. And then I'm going to go back and change the signs. Okay. So now I'm going to change all the signs. So that becomes negative, that becomes positive. That's negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Okay, now we're going to plot them. So this is going to be -4, 3, right there for P prime. Then we got Q prime at -2, 3. R prime at -1, 2. and S prime at negative 3, 0. So once again, going to draw this shape. Okay, now, again, we're going to check this. And you can check it with whatever point you want, but I'm going to check it with S from here to S and from here to S prime. Notice we have a straight line. So if we have a straight line, it verifies that it's a 180-degree rotation. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video here, write your rule, go ahead and find your D prime, E prime, F prime, and G prime, and then come back to me when you're done. So here we go again. This is a 180-degree rotation, X, Y, so it's negative X, negative Y. I'm just going to rewrite my points again, just like they are. Then I'm going to change the signs. So this one's positive and negative and positive and negative and positive and positive and positive and positive. Okay? Now go ahead and plot those points again, which you should have already done. 3, negative 2, so that's my new D prime. E prime is 4, negative 1. Wait, that was, sorry, I didn't do that the right place. 3, negative 2, 3, negative 2 right there. That was my D prime. 4, negative 1, that's my E prime. F prime is at 2, 2. And then G prime is at 1, 1. So there we go again. And again, it doesn't matter which point you do, but double check to make sure that you got this right. So we go from G, from the origin to G, from the origin to G prime, straight line again. So that's my check. Okay, so here's my last one. Rotate the figure. Notice this one says 90 degrees clockwise. So do you remember what 90 degrees clockwise is if we do it counterclockwise? Yep, 270 degrees, right? That's a 270-degree rotation. So again, we flip the points and we make the second value negative. So this is y negative x. So once again, I'm going to flip them. Obviously, you can't flip 4, 4, but 1, 2, 3, 0. Then I'm going to go in and make all these second terms negative. Obviously, can't negate a 0. So we're going to plot these again. 4, negative 4. Right there is my A prime. My B prime is 1, negative 2. And my C prime is 3, 0. Okay, so there's my new shape. And how do we verify that again? We can go, I'm going to do C, y'all, because it looks easy to me. So I'm going from C up there, from the origin to C, from the origin to C prime again. And it says it's a 90-degree clockwise, right? So if I'm going clockwise, it's right there, right? If I was going counterclockwise, what would it be? We would be going from this direction, right? And that would be a normal rotation. Got it? All right, last one. Let's see if you guys can do this last one. Again, what's the rule for, this time it says 270, right? Yeah. So once again, we're flipping them and changing the x to negative. So again, I'm just going to flip them first. 2, negative 3, 1, negative 4, negative 2 and negative 2, and negative 1 and negative 1. And I'm going to go in and change all the signs of my x's. So that's positive, that's positive, that's positive, that's positive. Now we're going to plot our points. 2, 3, 1, 4. Then we got negative 2, 2. Oops, that's not negative 2. Negative 2, 2 is right there. So that's my F prime. Then we got negative 1, 1. G prime. Okay, so let's check it again. So if we go from the center to G and we go from the center to G prime, see that? Okay, and again, this was 270 degrees, right? So we're going from, what direction do we move again? In the direction of the what? Yep, of the quadrant. So we're going for 3 quadrants. See that? There we go.